Commission.
Thank you very much for joining us, Ezra Chiloba, CEO of IEBC. Let's start where Yvonne left off in terms of preparation. She's laid out what seems to be a very interesting and very, very expansive preparation by the IEBC. But Kajiado Central is an expansive and sometimes very difficult constituency to deal with in terms of communications. How sure are we that we're going to be getting the results from polling station real time to ensure that the results get in as quickly as they are cast?
Well, thank you very much, John Adam. What I will say is that indeed Kajiado is a challenging landscape. The constituency, that is Kajiado Central, covers about 4,200 square kilometers. That is vast. And what we've been looking at the last couple of weeks, we're trying to map out in terms of what are the likely challenges that we are going to face as a commission if we end up in a situation that does not meet the minimum standards of running a good election. And what we came across was, one, the road network. That's a challenge. So far, only 14 polling stations are closer to the tarmac road. The rest of the 87 polling stations are much interior. But we've put in place measures to ensure that accessibility is available, to ensure that every station gets the voting material in good time. And in this case, just by 7 o'clock, just to confirm that majority of those officers had already called to confirm that they're already in stations. When it comes to network, the challenges within network in terms of mobile communication, but we've been working together with Safaricom and Airtel to just ensure that when need be, then we have the network available for us to be able to transmit provisional results. But something to add on that is that you know, what we've told our officers is that the most important thing will be the counting that will take place at the polling station. But soon thereafter, if there's no network to transmit, they need to start moving towards the tallying center. And along the way, if they find network, let them be able to transmit that particular data.
All right, let's get down to the politics of the election. And there have been complaints, as with many other by-elections and elections in Kenya, of fraud, especially complaints coming from ODM on the same, especially with respect to the immediate former holder of that seat, Joseph Nkaiseri, campaigning on behalf of their candidate, their use of state machinery. What can IEBC do to crack the whip on things that are obviously illegal?
Well, we've heard about that, but it's unfortunate that we've not had anything on file officially. There have been those claims, but what we've also done is to deploy our investigators on the ground. They've been around. They've come across certain cases that require further investigations. And as the Commission, we're going to handle that, especially after this election. We have to send a message, especially on facts that we've ourselves established. And in due course, you should be able to hear from us.
Even if these people, the people who are infringing on electoral rules, come from the government, that is something that you pledge to?
It's something that we're going to follow it up.
All right. The election seems, as Yvonne had mentioned, to be attracting quite a bit of attention. 64% voter turnout just in the prelude to this by-election, meaning that there's a lot of eyes on the IEBC. And I'll take it back to the issue of vote counting and vote tallying. One of the huge problems from the last election, the March 2013 election, was in the variances between the votes at the polling station in the Form 34s and the votes at the at the tallying center, the Form 36. How have you tightened the screws there to ensure that we're reading from the same scripts from the principal document to the document that will be used to announce the results?
Well, John, you should recall that we've run over 15 by-elections since 2013, and all by-elections have been successful, and this one is not going to be different. What we have done, we've deployed our staff on the ground. We've been able to train them. We've been able to test our machines, the technology they're going to apply there. We've opened the doors to observers We're going to have political party agents on the ground, and all of them are there to perform a certain function to ensure that we deliver credible results. So we believe that we have taken all measures necessary to ensure that the results coming out of the polling stations, the tallying center, are going to be credible.
All right, final question before we let you go, Bwana Chiloba. The voter registration has been going on quietly, and I have to stress quietly, being done by the IEBC. Where is the IEBC in terms of publicizing what is really a public event? What are the numbers? How is it taking place? The Justice and Legal Affairs Committee in Parliament is itself complaining that they had no idea that this was going on.
Well, I think we have to put that into context. The Constitution requires us to do continuous voter registration. But the facts on the ground is that, we have offices spread across the country in terms of constituency offices. You go there, you find a constituency elections officer. And what we said is that these officers, instead of just sitting there waiting for an election, they have to be doing something. So we started a program on continuous voter registration. And the numbers have not been good. And what we had also tried to do was to get resources under the current budget to be able to support that exercise. And we do not have enough money. Our estimate was initially that we're going to have about 60 million shillings to facilitate those officers to carry out the continuous voter registration, but that did not happen. So we only got just a little about 12 million, which we've been trying to share across all the 290 constituencies.
All right, so short of money.
Short of money. But let me mention something that is important, that we are keen to ensure that before the next election, we have all potential voters to be on the voters' roll. And in our case, we are targeting about 8 million. If you look at the data that we had in 2012 and the projection that we had then, the population trends that we have now, so we are confident that before the next election, in the next 2 years, we can actually bring on board about 8 million voters.
All right.
But this is going to happen only if we get adequate resources to carry out national voter registration across the country.
All right, Mr. Chiloba, we're going to have to stop you there. Not much time to discuss those very, very wide issues.
I look forward to an occasion to explain that.
Definitely. And good luck tomorrow with the by-election in Kajiado Central. Thank you very much for joining us on KTN.